Hey, welcome to Tuesday Tea Time with Dorina. Uh, I want to welcome all our first time viewers and those that will watch the replay. I want to welcome you. We are presented from Women of Wisdom, and we are a nonprofit organization empowering teen girls and women with practical wisdom and confidence. We are here for you to bridge that generational gap between the older and the younger generation. Why? Because we need each other, right? We need each other. We really need each other. Okay, so okay, so well, I'm probably excited every Tuesday, but I am excited about the topic that we're going to talk about tonight. And if you saw last week, you know I'm not drinking tea because I'm doing this um, cleansing, fasting thing. And so I have cinnamon water, which I did not know that cinnamon water is actually considered cinnamon tea. Did you know that? And so I want to share with you before we get into the topic, I want to share with you the benefits of drinking cinnamon and water. Okay, cinnamon in your water. Okay, so I got this from the health line. So you can check the health line. You can also check health, Harvard education. And what cinnamon does is it reduces inflammation, it improves memory, increases attention, and enhances cognitive processing. And you know, cognitive processing deals with learning, thinking, memory, things like that. It involves in gaining knowledge and comprehension. So I have my my cinnamon water tonight. Okay. So if you have your beverages, join us and let's fill our cup up with wisdom tonight. All right. Okay, so we are going to be talking about release her. Now, that's one of, I sometimes put that on with my logo. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it in real small letters, it says release her. And so I really felt impressed to share with you this topic, release her, because that's something that we need to do. Okay, so anywho, I want to give you the definition of release. I know you probably already know, but we just like to do this, to give clarification, and you just never know who's watching. Okay, so to release something is to free from confinement, bondage, pain, to free from anything that restrains or suppresses. Okay, so we want to release her from any restraints, any bondages, any pains or hurts. We need to get past those things so that we can live a favorable life or have favorable outcomes in life. Okay. Okay. So tonight, let's start the process, okay? Because it it is a process and it's not something that is instantaneous, okay? So when we say let's start the process of releasing what? Okay, so we're talking about past mistakes, pains, hurts, hurtful situation, the girl that would want to live her true self. Okay. And I'm going to give you some examples of, um, some stuff that I had to go through this process my own self. Okay. So I'm just sharing with you, some of the things that I've learned and how I've had to release her inside of me so that I could be uh, who I am today, um, to live a more fulfilled life, to be that woman of confidence and wisdom. So, it does take going through some things, but we can make this happen. Okay. Okay. So I want to say it's okay if we cry, because sometimes you have to cry it out. So sometimes it's okay if we cry for the sake of healing, but it's not okay if we're crying for pity's sake. Okay, that's not okay, and we will never reach our place of healing if we're just having pity on ourselves. We got to get past that. And so it's possible, okay? So we're going to be brave, and we're going to stand up for that wounded girl in the inside. We are going to fight for her so that she can be free. And she needs somebody to fight for her, that will stand for her. So the little girl in us that went through a bunch of hurting and pains and situations like that, we are going to release her, okay? Because we want to be free and she wants to be free so that she can walk in wisdom and confidence, okay? And that's the little girl inside of you. She wants to be released, and we're going to release her. Okay, so we want to take the sign off of our foreheads that says user. Just use me. We want to take that off of our forehead, and we want to replace that with not today. Okay. So when people uh, look at us and they think that they're going to take advantage of us, instead of us having go ahead and use us, we're going to have not today so that they can clearly read that we are not the type of women or teenage girls that can easily be taken advantage of. Okay. And that takes us healing. It takes us releasing the hurt and pains of our past. And so, we can start that process, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. We're not going to be held back in life and being locked in false identity, not knowing who we are. Okay. We're going to release her, and we're going to find out, our true self, right? Okay. So I want to share with you, when I went through this process, uh, uh, it was challenging, and I'm not gonna lie to you, but I am so glad that I went through the process, because it allowed me to find out who I really am, and it released me to be the person that I was meant to be. Let me just put it to you like that. Okay. Okay. So just to kind of share with you a little bit, not for you to go out and tell my business, but just to help you, but I've been physically abused, I've been mentally abused, I've been sexually abused by teens, by adults, by men and women. And so I know the pain and the hurt that is in that type of abuse. Okay, so I want you to know that so that you understand that I'm not just saying things to you and I have not experienced myself. Okay, because there's some of you out there that have been traumatized and you have really dealt with some serious issues, with family members, non-family members. Yep, been there, done that. And so, in order for you to really live the life that you deserve to live, we have to learn how to release those things. We're not excusing other people's behavior, but what we are doing is saying that I'm not going to be confined or I'm not going to be trapped and suppressed by what everybody else decisions were, however they treated me or anything like that. And so it's possible that we can live a better life. Okay, and sometimes you have to release things to get to that point. And sometimes we're held back from the life that we should be living because um we sometimes block those things out. We kind of put them in the backside of the corner somewhere and block it out. But as long as that thing is still there, it still is monopolizing us in some kind of way or another. And so we do need to release those things so that we can reach, where we should be in life. Okay, we don't have to be stuck. We don't want to be stuck, and you want to experience the greater you. Okay, and so that comes with letting go of stuff. Okay, so anywho, I shared that because I want to share this with you. Okay, so one of the things that I dealt with, okay, if you heard my story before, you know that my mom passed away when I was 11 months. So my dad raised me till I was about 12. He got remarried. Okay, so one of the things that I had to deal with was Mother's Day. Mother's Day was not was not a just was not a good day for me. And people don't always think about that. But when I was growing up, I had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way. Let's just put it like that. And people, they criticize, me and talked about me. That's why a lot of times right now it doesn't really bother me anymore, because I've dealt with that almost all my life. So, now it just really don't bother me like that. And that's uh, the benefits of the challenges that you have in life. They can be a detriment to you, or they can be a springboard for you. Okay, so anywho, what happened was when I got older, I didn't realize that I had an issue with that because I just threw it in the back of my head. When I started having kids myself, you're a mother and you just don't think about that kind of stuff. But every time Mother's Day came up, you know, I was acting up and stuff, and I didn't understand, okay, what's going on with me? Well, what made me realize that I had a problem was one day my husband came home and he brought me a Mother's Day card and he put some money in the card and everything. And I opened it up and I took the money out of the card and just threw the card down. And I was like, oh, wait, this is something's not right with that. And so we just kind of started critiquing some things and, you know, and we just came to the conclusion that, okay, I have a problem with Mother's Day because all the other kids were making stuff for their mothers. And when I was growing up, I didn't have a mother to make things for, And so I always kind of felt like she left me, and I was angry about that. And so I didn't even realize that that was in me. But a lot of times what we don't realize is that as young children, we take in stuff. I know you've heard this expression before, trash in, trash out. Well, it's the same way with pain in, pain out. And so there are some things that, we all have had to deal with that's been painful in our lives. And, that that can distort, our perception, our view of things, and it can hinder us from being successful in life. And so, just some of the things that we dealt with in our childhood, if we don't release those things, then we will be limited on how far we can go in life. And so, we want to be able to release that. Okay. And so, you know, so I went through the process of releasing that, and I had to let that out. And the truth of the matter was that I was mad at my dad too. And so I had to go to my dad and explain to him, you know, how I was feeling and everything. And that was difficult, but I did it. And, sometimes the acts the steps that we have to take can be challenging, it can be fearful, but you know what? I heard somebody say this and I wholeheartedly believe this: do it afraid, okay? Because sometimes you just have to, but this is for your benefit. And you know what? If I had never dealt with those things that were inside of me, I don't believe that I would be where I am today. I just don't believe that, you know. And so I want to share with you there are three things I want to share with you that will help us to release her. Okay? Number 1 is we must first want to. You have to want to release her. It's not a matter of just saying, casually saying, yeah, I want to change my life. It's kind of like, you know, the resolutions, the yearly resolutions. We make them at the beginning of the year, and after January is gone, we don't even keep them. So you can't just make a casual decision about that. You have to want to have a better life. You gotta, somebody asked me one time when I started Women of Wisdom, they was talking about, well, how are you gonna, how are you gonna get people to, want wisdom, or, be confident, or something like that, and I was like, well, you know what? We're reaching the people that want it. You gotta, because what can you do for people that don't want it? There's nothing you can do. They have to decide for themselves that they want a better life or that they want to change, and it's really just making a quality decision that you want a better life than what you have right now. And that's available to you. Here in the United States, we have more opportunities to have a better life than a lot of the people in other countries. And really, if you don't believe that, just go out of the country and talk to some people that have been there, and they will tell you. I've been to Mexico, and wow, it's a big difference. Okay, so you gotta want to release her. You gotta want to be out of bondage. You gotta want to get out of the hurtful past, that people, the hurtful things people have done, or the past mistakes that you've made. You got to want to get past those things. Okay, so that's the main thing that you got to do. Okay, so depending on how deeply you've been wounded, you know this process is going to take a while, but you know, you know, I'll give you this illustration. If you've ever had kids and you go through the labor pains, we all know that have experienced that. We all know that uh, if you fight against the contractions, you are going to make your labor a lot longer. But if you relax and cooperate with your labor pains, then it'll make your labor go by a lot faster. Okay. So if we want to release her and we cooperate with the process of releasing her, we could get through the process a lot faster. But if we fight against it, then it's going to take longer to get through that process. And like I said, if you have been wounded deeply, it's going to take a little while for that anyway. And so um, don't get hung up in how long it takes. Get hung up in the fact that you want to change your future. You want to change your life. Okay. So, one thing I want to say is if we choose to remain there, this is very important. If we choose to remain where we are right now, you would never enjoy life the way that you deserve to enjoy, the way that it is possible for you to enjoy life. And some will be miserable and agonize with struggles and being confused and continuing to live life, the way things are right now. And sometimes, what, when we don't deal with stuff, sometimes things get worse. So we need to deal with the hurts and the pains and mistakes of our past and go through this process and release her out of that. Oh, hi, Nikki. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so like I said, number one, we must first want to release her. And once you make that commitment to release her, stay with it. Okay? Do not turn back. I want to encourage you on that. Okay, so number two, this is a biggie. Okay? Tell yourself, I can I can do this and I am worth it. So you going through this process, you want to say to yourself, I can do this and I am worth it. Now, the thing is, Don't get hung up in whether you believe that or not as you start saying it. And it's okay if you don't believe it right away. Keep saying it and keep saying it. And eventually you will grow in confidence in that, and you'll start to believe that you can do this and that you have, and that you are worth the process, because you are worth the process, you know. Um, okay, so this is highly important because, you know, think about this. You know what? If you if if you hear a lie long enough, you'll believe it. That lie will be true, will become truth to you if you believe it long enough. Somebody could tell you, oh, you're ugly, or you got a big nose, and everybody, you meet, somebody's telling you, oh, you're ugly, or you got a big nose or something like that. And then after a while, you'll start thinking that you're ugly. You'll start thinking that you have a big nose. And so, what we want to do is we want to take the negative into the positive and start telling ourselves, you know what, I can do this and I am worth it. And a lot of people think that they're not worth it. And that's why you need to tell yourself that you are, because you need to believe that you are. And the more you say it, the more you believe it. Okay. And you just keep saying that thing until you have confidence that is true. And even once you have confidence that is true, keep saying it over and over again until it just grows inside of you and no one can tell you anything different. Okay, so the thing that came to me was a rose. We're like roses inside of us. That girl inside of us is like a rose. And you know what? As we speak those words are like seeds planted in the garden of our hearts. And so, as we cultivate that garden with those words, then what will happen is the stem of the rose, the seed and the of the rose will begin to grow. And then the leaves will grow, and then the petals will grow. And then you have a beautiful rose that has a beautiful, sweet fragrance, and that is your life. And so, as you keep telling yourself that, I can do this, I am worth it, you know, you will grow into that rose. Okay, so I want to share with you a little bit about roses. And as you before I tell you that, as you grow, you will start to get into the light. You'll start to have light, and light will start coming to you, and you'll start learning who your true self is, because that's where you want to go. You want to develop in that place where your true self is. And once you discover who your true self is, that's when you'll start soaring in life. That's when you'll find your purpose. That's when you'll find a joy and find out the things that, you know, your purpose, what you want to do in life. But we first got to get past, you know, the little girl inside of us that needs healing, or that has been bound. And sometimes we're bounding that little girl our own selves because we're thinking, negative thoughts. Our self talk is so negative that we can't release her because we don't believe anything good about ourselves. And so you have to change that, and believing the right things about yourself, that's healthy. That is healthy for you. That has nothing to do with arrogance. Arrogance is when you think you're more than what you are, you know, but we're trying to get you to think, you know, of who you are, your identity, your true self. And, that person inside of you is a rose. Honey, you are beautiful and you have such a sweet aroma inside of you, but we got to get that junk out of there, because you can't live life. You don't want to live life in the prison of your heart, and never accomplish anything. You don't want to live like that. There's no peace in that. Okay. So the words that we're planting are seeds and they produce a beautiful rose. And as we continue to speak those words, we are planting those seeds, cultivating that seed so that we can become our beautiful self. Okay. Yes. So, okay, this is what I want to share with you about the rose. Okay, now all roses, some of you may be gardeners, so you know what I'm saying is true or not. So, all roses grow best in full sun, okay, with moist, well drained soil that's rich in organic matter. Okay, think about that. If you're the rose yourself and you grow in the light, you know, all the stuff that's hidden inside of you, as long as that stuff is hidden inside of you, it will always torment you. Hi, Kiana. Thank you. This is very informing. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so so just like the rose has to be in the light, these things that are hidden in our hearts, the hurts and pains, the things that put us in bondage, they have to come out in the light. And yes, they hurt when they go in, they hurt when they come out, but the treasure is when they come out, you are healed emotionally. And we need emotionally healing. And sometimes emotional pain can be the worst pain. And it does affect our physical body. It affects our mental wellness. And really, that's basically where a lot of that stuff start in our emotional realm. And so we got to get that stuff on the inside out so that we can know ourselves better and be the better person that we are meant to be. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better's best. How about that? Okay, so let me give you a little more information about the rose. Okay, so if the rose gets less than 6 hours of sunlight, then it will not bloom properly. Okay, and um, and it'll be more susceptible to attacks by pests and diseases. Okay, so if you want to continue telling yourself that I can do this and I am worth it. Because as you continue to say that, you're shedding light on those dark areas that are saying to you, no, you're not worth this. You're not worth you going through this to be free. You're not worth no, you're held in bondage to all these hurts and pains and mistakes of the past. And they're constantly talking to you and bombarding your thoughts about what you can't do and who you can't be, and you're trash and you're this and you're that. And you have to replace those words with, I can do this, I am worth it. And as you continue to do that, you are shedding light. It's like the sun shining down on that rose. And, even if you don't give it but 6 hours, so to speak, you have to do this. It's very important that you tell yourself, you know, that you can do this, okay? Because all the circumstances around you will tell you that you can't. All your past mistakes will tell you that you can't. All your hurts and pains will tell you that you can't. And so you can see how you need to bombard those thoughts with, I can do this. I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm worth it. Say it now. I can do this. I'm worth it. I can do this. I'm worth it. And as you continue to keep saying that, you'll start to believe that you can do it. And you'll start to believe that you're worth it. And when you have that embedded within you, now you're starting to blossom, and light is coming in, and everybody can see the sign that was on your forehead is changing to from use me to not today. Okay? So people can't take advantage of you. We don't want to stay naive. We don't want to stay stuck. We don't want to live in the past and keep on that what do they call that, the like a treadmill, or we're running but we're not going anywhere, you know and you don't want to live like that. And so I'm here to encourage you not to. Okay, so no rose likes a full shed. No rose like full shed. So you don't want to keep her hidden, deep down inside in some back corner. You want to face the hurt, face the pain, face the disappointment, face the mistakes, and get over the hump of all those things, because you can do it and you are worth it. Okay. And so I have a number three, and I just knew that I wasn't going to really be able to get to number three tonight for time's sake. So we are going to continue release her next Tuesday. And just remember this: start the process by saying, by wanting to change your life, wanting to release her from the bondage and the hurt and mistakes. That's number one. Number two, tell yourself that you can do this and that you are worth it. Okay. So next Tuesday, I will see you then. We will share number three with you, and we kind of recap on some of the stuff that we talked about tonight. So remember this: I love you, and walk in wisdom. Okay. Thank you.